Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nerd Street Gamers First Strike Valorant Qualifier. It's been one heck of a map too. Blow for blow, pound for pound, two heavyweight titans. CLOUD9 and TSM duke things out where it all matters on the Valorant maps. I'm joined with me, Esports Doug, the man who cuts me off just before the throw, but is also with me for the series. TSM versus CLOUD9 is what we're about to dive into, that last and final map. But let's have a look at how the teams have gotten here up until this point with the bracket.
Listen, I'm just going to commend you on the fact that you instantly transitioned to something else, so I didn't even get a chance to defend myself. TSM manages to 2-0 100 Thieves. CLOUD9 takes care of the slimy boogerman, and that has set up this freaking juggernaut fight that we have on our hands right now. The winner advances to take on Team Envy, who managed to 2-0 Gen.G in very impressive fashion. So again, guys, 128 teams. There was so much conversation leading into the first strike qualifier. Like, you know, what's going to happen when the TSMs and the CLOUD9s are not invited? And can they make it through an open bracket? And man, it's a lot of the same customers that have made it this far out. So once again, cementing themselves as some of the best teams that North America has to offer. And the truth is, the format is beautiful. How we've gotten here is absolutely beautiful, and I just can't stop gushing about what's happening right now. CLOUD9, TSM, map 3, and man, if this scoreboard doesn't get you excited for what we have next, I don't know what to tell you.
Let me just say, I understand that Wardell, and I understand that TenZ have been popping off, almost dropping a 30 bomb here for TenZ. A 30 bomb for Wardell, a beautiful answer to that first map. But the MVP of that map was Sabrosa. Without a doubt. The constant flanking, the constant repositioning. The man has found his agent. He's become a broman. And he has joined the Broman Club as he's put on a phenomenal performance. We'll see if he can do it again. He's going to be on the Omen once again. But the map we've got to talk about is going to be split. Where we're going to see the Viper come out here for Hazed, Cutler on the Killjoy, a little bit of an agent swap here for TSM and CLOUD9. I think for the most part are going to stay relatively the same as they have. The Breach, the Raze, the Omen, the Killjoy, and the Jet for TenZ to round things out. But for TSM, this is going to be a newer look that we haven't seen before on Split.
And again, what a fitting way to end things between these two squads, going down to map 3 after triple overtime. Here are the compositions on the screen for you. Timo, you mentioned the Viper in the hands of Hazed for TSM. This one's going to be spicy.
So the coin flip does go to the favor of CLOUD9. They get the defense first, and ultimately that is the side that is more favored on Split. CLOUD9 have had 2 opportunities to play Split, and that is the map they have been exceptionally well prepared for. TSM, on the other hand, are 1-1 on Split. So they're going to need to do a little bit more work, considering the open qualifiers hasn't been very kind to them on Split. But we'll see if this Killjoy, if this Viper really packs a punch against CLOUD9.
Does the Snake Lady bite? Does she bite hard enough to take care of CLOUD9? CLOUD9 on the defending side for this opening half. The spike so slow, so methodical. Sabrosa is able to take care of TenZ to open up the round.
Looks like the Jet's been replaced, of course, with the Reyna, and we're seeing TSM really pack a punch, pushing onto the site. CLOUD9 now just down to 2, but of course they're able to fight back. Sabrosa out of commission just before he finds the PK on the round. There's that Snake Lady packing a punch from a distance, but it's Mitch with that last second frag, upgrading to a Ghost. CLOUD9 now up by 1, lead the pistol, and that's a great start for the defense. Let's see how many rounds they can convert off of this first round, because ultimately, on the defense, it's really hard for the attack to find some success.
And remember, CLOUD9 opened the last map with a bang on the pistol round. They were able to win that. They rattled off a number of rounds. They had a very comfortable lead, but it was TSM that responded at the end of the half to keep things competitive. And well, we know how the rest of that panned out. But for CLOUD9, a strong start, an importantly needed strong start on the defending, side. CLOUD9, or TSM going a bit aggressively here towards mid, but TenZ and Mitch just pick them apart.
And now the Lyra comes through. They want to participate. That's just the scary sight for TSM. They'll at least be able to put one on to TenZ, but now it's just down to the Snake Lady, who Phased has made his way all the way up towards the A heaven side. The spike is down. The alarm bot will spot him out, and they know exactly where he is now. So he's going to try to get in a little bit of a different position. But Cloud9 played that well. TSM stacked up towards the center. Were able to at least find one pick for the troubles. If Hayes can find another, it'll definitely be worth the while here for TSM. As the heavy investment from Cloud9 for the second round soft buy. Spectres and heavy armor across the board. We'll see what Hayes can do with 40 seconds left on the clock. I'd imagine it's going to be difficult, but still within the realm of possibility.
I mean, he's certainly taking the scenic route all the way around, and he's going to get spotted by a turret. Once again, they know where Hayes is. First, it was the alarm bot, then it was the turret. 30 seconds left. They know where he is, and it looks like they're actually hunting for him. Hayes is, well, going to get met by Relics. Relics with the Spectre gives him the business.
Yeah, but
and that's going to be a 2-0 lead for Cloud9.
Just barely survives, though. 20 HP. That 3 classic burst almost put Relics into a coma. I don't know how many rounds that would have lasted, but he still survives. And anyone that survives a shot to the dome deserves some sort of prize. I don't know what prize, but some sort of prize. So Cloud9 sitting pretty. One assault rifle moving into this one. TSM going to be locked and loaded, guns blazing. Going to be looking for some mid control. On the opposite side, we do have Vice alongside 10s that are going to be working up a buddy system to try to defend any potential push for TSM around. That is very important for them to win. Guns unlocked.
Once again, that mid control that you mentioned, Tens dies early on for the second round in a row. Cutler able to take care of them. It looks like they're going to pick up the spike. And they still have plenty of options, Simo.
Slow moving towards the A site. Cloud9, of course, down a member. Shinobi, as you highlighted, will be coming back towards this A site. Smoke down actually at the perfect time, but there's no threat on the opposite side. Sabrosa going to try to cause a ruckus on the B side, and Cloud9 will see if they react to it accordingly. They do have Mitch waiting on the opposite side. He's in a pretty good spot. Wardell's going to be taken down. He can convert onto the second. Sabrosa now going to lurk all the way back around. We'll see how much damage Cloud9 can do as it's just down to 2 players with Spike behind enemy lines.
Yeah, but Sabrosa opted to go in aggressive there and 30 seconds maybe left. Catch somebody else lagging, but now he's going to show up late to the party. Fortunately for him, TSM has been able to hold things at bay so far, but now Cutler drops. Sabrosa's the last one there. He's got a Phantom. It's a 1v2. It's certainly not out of the realms of possible, but it's far from easy.
Oh, Vice spotted him. Relics repositioning. Spike picked up.
10 seconds
Needs
left.
to get the spike planted, but guess who's waiting in the smoke? Yeah, it's Relics. A tough round for TSM to lose, a round that they desperately needed to win. Now the investment is not going to pay off, and they're going to have to be back down to some likely soft force-ups here. Cloud9 very happy about the performance of that round. Yes, it got brought down to the wire, but like you pointed out, the late round flank from Sabrosa doesn't pay off when all of TSM falls apart.
It just took too long, and it's tough to boil down around to like a 1 second to 2 second decision, but his decision to go a bit more aggressively on B delayed his ability to provide reinforcements on A. It was just a split second, but Cutler got taken out because he didn't have any backup, and that left Sabrosa by himself. Now, Cloud9 with a big lead, for them to be able to take that out of TSM's hands with Spectres, that's huge.
Huge indeed, and you might chalk it up to positioning. Mitch finding 2 before dying. Should have only gotten away with 1, and considering Wardell was the first one to die, that does not bode well for TSM. As long as Wardell is alive, anything is possible for TSM. Anything. Literally anything. A 1v5, yeah, that's possible. If Wardell's alive, anything is possible for TSM. So for Cloud9 to take him out first, very crucial. It's the passive B-side play. Shinobi finds a lurking Sabrosa. Cloud9 pretty disconnected from sites altogether. TSM looks to hit this B-side. We do have Vice waiting on the opposite side. Like clockwork, TSM will dispatch TSM a flawless round for Cloud9, and now TSM will be back on the gun round for round number 5.
You know, you mentioned Wardell, if he's alive, then anything is possible, but you could say the exact same thing about Tense. The dude is out of control. He's been pugging out like a madman up against TSM here. So as we saw in the last map, these two rosters match up, and whenever they do, there's fireworks. But Cloud9 roaring out of the gates here to a 4-0 lead. Now we're going to get another gun round for TSM, and if they don't pull this one off, things look real dicey for TSM in the first half.
I mean, I hate to chalk it up to it's a defensive-sided map, Forehead. Like, I know that that's a little bit of a weak argument, but considering Cloud9 have got the pieces to have a lot of control, the Omen, the Killjoy, the Breach, they can really keep the attack at bay for quite some time. And if you're committing all of your resources with Killjoy utility on one site, well, they're going to stack all the membership on the opposite site, right? And so there's a lot of control capabilities from Cloud9. And for TSM, when they move on to the defense, they've got the Viper, the Killjoy, the Omen, and the Breach. They have more tools at their disposal to defend against Cloud9. So for Cloud9 to have this hot of a start, it makes sense.
An ever important start. TSM have managed to work the way through mid and are now posturing towards A. They've got plenty of utility from Viper to keep them hidden, and Cloud9's rotating away.
Slow and steady here for TSM, but with 40 seconds left on the clock, they better make this push worth their while. Now as they start to funnel through, Cloud9 still haven't rotated.
30 seconds left.
And pop the Empress. I'm a little bit afraid now about what's about to happen. He's going to find one. Invisibility pushes him forward. He's going to get to safety with Relics, and he escapes. BHP is all that remains. If he finds this pick, he can heal up, but he can't. Relics will find two. You don't need an Empress. Now the showstopper comes through. That's going to be the dunk. And now with 13 seconds left on the clock, Cutler will be able to take him down. Spike, unfortunately, in a tough spot. Cloud9 with round number 5.
Unreal. Cloud9 looks so good. That's a second gun round, that TSM is not able to capitalize on. And again, it was a different look this time. TSM waited all the way until about 30 seconds. They still had a bunch of utility from Viper to keep themselves hidden, to keep their intentions behind wraps, and then they exposed. Then they went, and Cloud9 handled it masterfully. Cloud9 is in complete control right now, and take a look at who's leading the scoreboard for Cloud9. It's Relics, 7-2, and well, the truth is, Vice and Mitch are having themselves a day as well at 5-1 apiece. Cloud9 are in complete control here, Simo.
For TSM, the best case scenario is I'd imagine maybe an 8-4 half, maybe a 9-3, considering how dominant Cloud9 has got off to a hot start. I don't presume TSM are going to get 12-0'd, okay? What we just saw in Bind, there's no way. Okay, let me just be the first to say there's no way. So for Cloud9, if they can find themselves in a 10-2, that is a beautiful scenario. Beautiful. But for TSM, they're looking for 8-4. They're looking for 9-3. Because like I said, when we get to the defensive side for TSM, all the control that they have from the Viper, from the Killjoy, from the Omen, they'll be putting themselves in a position to succeed. But they need to get there first. And they need to take down Cloud9 in the process. But it's not off to a hot start on the B side.
Oh, gosh. Freaking Cloud9 again. And I know it's not a gun round for TSM, but the way they're winning these rounds, Simo, is just so dang impressive for Cloud9. Bros is the last one standing. Relics continues to pad the stats. 8-2. Cloud9 just looks so good. TSM, yes, they're going to have a lot to work with on the second half when they're on defense, but for Cloud9 right now, get as far ahead as you possibly can, right? Like, rattle off as many rounds as you can because you know TSM's going to come back swinging in the second half.
Another important round here for TSM, back on the gun round. 6 rounds in a row for Cloud9. Wardell still has not been relatively active. And with the op in hand, he's looking to change that on the round ahead. Cloud9, despite the opportunity for TSM in some instances to find the man advantage on site takes, Cloud9 have done a phenomenal job of nullifying those odds and actually bringing it down to a 2v2 on a site hit when they still have the rest of the team rotating over from the other site. So TSM have definitely been hurting in that regard, as Cloud9's heroics on the holds have been great. I'm looking at 10s, I'm looking at Relics, especially on some of those heroics on the A side, and Mitch as well to boot. TSM need to find some sort of answer on these attack plans because it hasn't been working, and Cloud9 have traded well. So for TSM, now a round where they're going to be looking for an early B hit, or at least information in the middle and in the garage. See how they shape up.
Drone causing some problems as it looks like TSM takes an aggressive position up the middle. Oh, Shinobi's gonna get flashed. He swings. He's not able to take her Sabrosa. Sabrosa getting the best of him there as TSM established control across the middle of the map.
Find that early pick, and I know Cloud9 was just so hesitant on trying to pull the trigger. Wardell tries to escape, and that's the op out of the hands of the man that does not miss. Now the 4v4 looking towards the A site. Relics waiting in position, but guess who comes from the defender's spawn? It's Sabrosa. He doesn't commit to the teleport, and now Cloud9 are forced into a retake, but they might stop the plant before it even drops down.
Unreal. Cloud9 just looks so freaking good. Here's the first time we're going to see the Viper's Pit out of TSM, and in response, you've got the lockdown. Relics is able to get a very important kill on a second one as well. Hayes the last one standing here. He's going to get the spike down, but oh my gosh, is he right in the corner? Is he okay?
He is, but unfortunately not for long. As Mitch comes through, the Jello pops out on the other side, and Cloud9 win round number 7. Back down to the eco for TSM. They might soft buy here, maybe Stingers, maybe light armor. Definitely not Vandals and Ops across the board, but it has not been a great start for TSM. 5 rounds remain in the half, and if they want a 8-4, if they want a 9-3, they need to start laying on some rounds now. I don't anticipate it's going to be this one, considering the weapons are obviously less than ideal. No Blade Storm for Wardell either. He's 1 out of 6 on that. They do have the red carpet and the lockdown. We'll see if that ends up being used, but TSM up against the ropes.
Cloud9 so far have shown extreme proficiency on this map, and TSM have not found an inch of room to breathe. They haven't been able to get anything going. Cloud9 just looking head and shoulders above TSM right now, and like they have 2 members on TSM who are 0-7. Simo, they haven't been able to get anything going at all, and it's been on the back of a couple of different looks. We've seen the Viper Spit, we've seen aggressive pushes up mid, we've seen delayed pushes, and it looks like that's exactly what we're going to get here on B. But once again, it's a save round for TSM. Cloud9 continues to make a statement.
Yeah, one after another, down to 1 final player, Sabrosa. A flawless round for Cloud9, 8-0 the scoreline, and we asked for a third map. I don't think TSM or TSM fans anticipated this much of a beating. Now, this map is defender-sided. It definitely does cater to Cloud9, but at least TSM have tried to find a round, tried to find 2, and this could be one right here. Guns online, up in the hands of Wardell, looking towards the A site. This time, Cloud9 heavily stacked with utility from Killjoy towards the B site. A lopsided defense looking to be impactful here. We'll see how TSM play this one out.
Relics posturing aggressively. Oh my gosh, they have 2 of them. Just on the other side of the smoke. It's a bloody firing squad. Wow. Shinobi gets 3 as the IGL for Cloud9 continues to keep TSM at bay. TenZ does it as well. A complete disaster for TSM. They're just down to Cutler. He's got the ult, but he doesn't have a whole lot else to work with as Cloud9 continue to push the pace. TSM look entirely lost right now.
Yeah, I have a feeling that maybe throughout the entirety of the broadcast, the chat might be, I don't read chat when I cast, but I have a feeling they may be a little, like, I've got a lot of crazy references, okay? They're a little spicy. They're a little out there. Cloud9 look like references. Yes, Cloud9 look like they're playing Among Us. That engagement there, right in that choke point towards the A site, they took the 50. Shinobi's like, I'm gonna play off to the side. Relics, you plant yourself down like a juicy little crewmate. Wait for the imposter to come in and snatch you up. TSM run in, double impostered up on a Thursday afternoon. They push forward. They try to, like, oh yeah, Relics, easy frag. Yeah, Shinobi's waiting on the opposite side. It was a bait. It was the plan all along. Very well executed for Cloud9. They played TSM's utility to a T.
Look, so here's the thing. We've mentioned this before. Defender side, TSM has things to work with in the next round, in the next half. Here's the problem, however, is if you're TSM, you can have all of the utility, all of the tools at your disposal in the world. But if you go into the second half so far down that you lose the coin flip pistol, and conventionalism says you lose the next one as well, there's no amount of utility that can save you from that. Shinobi is able to take care of Hazed early on. TSM once again at a numbers disadvantage.
Great control there from Relics up above from heaven. Now Shinobi actually pushing forward right in the sight line of the crossfire. An opportunity here for TSM, but unfortunately Sabrosa caught in a little bit of a difficult spot. The red carpet rolled out, but nobody's starting to walk it. Wardell peeks on in. Guess who's on the other side? It's CLOUD9. Down to Drone, headshots gonna connect down to the 1v3. Finds the second, finds the third! Are you kidding me? Down to the 1v1, coming in from behind. It's Relics playing the tower. Spike is taking Drone. Slows things down. Guess what? Aftershock surprise. Now he's playing behind the map. Shots good! Drone with the flop! And TSM win a round.
There's no analysis to that. He just pew-pewed freaking all across CLOUD9 in that. That's just insane. For him to be able to pull that off that way was so huge. The problem for TSM is that they're still looking down 8 rounds of a deficit here. We talked about how they needed to keep it interesting at half. You mentioned 8-4, 9-3 a couple of rounds ago. That's still possible, but they can't drop anything else here. And if it takes a 4K heroic round from a member of TSM just to get 1 round on the board, what does that say about how strong CLOUD9 look?
CLOUD9 have been looking very strong on Ascent, very strong on Split. One of those maps has to be banned in series to come against them. Wardell finds an early pick onto Shinobi. The paint shells are definitely going to cause a little bit of a problem, but the toxic screen is going to cause an even bigger problem for Relics as he can't land the showstopper. It does connect and injure a couple of members, but not enough to find the pick. The 4v5. TSM with a man advantage lockdown as well here for Cutler. Sabrosa will catch Relics with his open arms. The 5v3 with CLOUD9 up against the ropes. The opportunity here for the 9-3 as Tense will heal up. And now the retake here for CLOUD9 pushing back into this A site.
Toxin screen down.
Hazed is still alive, so you have to keep all of that utility in mind. Wardell once again, who will guard the Guardians as he does it again. Tenz is going to use that Empress as you hear the Rolling Thunder has been used as well. Tenz, the last one in a 1v4, is able to get one, going to get flashed up, and he's going to get taken out. TSM put up another round on the board.
9-3 been the possibility here for TSM, and it all boils down to this round. CLOUD9 have had credits to spend for the entirety of this half, but this would be the statement piece that they need. They could cushion themselves with a loss on the pistol and still have rounds, well, not many rounds, but rounds to sacrifice if it ends up being the case. CLOUD9 on the attack will have to obviously make ends meet with the composition that they have. And for TSM, it should bode a little bit better for them, but it will hinge on the pistol nevertheless. Now looking at TSM, going to be hitting this B site, but guess what? On the opposite side are 4 members strong, with Mitch all on his lonesome with Killjoy utility. This is about to be something.
You hear the From the Shadows has been used to try to get some information. He's going to pop himself right back. Tenz holding this tight angle. Oh my gosh! Oh, Tenz! Tenz is able to get 2. Drone is able to trade him out as he gets the second one, but Shinobi does it! The IGL for CLOUD9 rips apart TSM. CLOUD9 with a statement first half.
Switching sides.
10-2 is ultimately what CLOUD9 could have asked for and more. TSM wanted to inch closer to that 8-4, wanted to inch closer to that 9-3, but it was not in the cards. The B side hit. They should have stuck to the A side hit, which was working out a lot more often than not. B side was just very well read there from CLOUD9. The 4 stack anticipating potentially a little bit of a switch up, considering the A side was hit continuously by TSM round after round after round. And so for CLOUD9 to call that good heads-up play, good read there on the tempo, the feel of the half. Moving on to the second, TSM really hinge on this pistol, an important pistol for them to win. Looking at setups towards the center, CLOUD9 are stacking towards this garage side.
The thing is, these pistol rounds have been so electric between these two teams that you feel the weight of being down 10-2 so much more going into the second half. You lose this, you're probably going to lose the next one, and all of a sudden you find yourself on match point. So TSM have to figure something out here. Cloud9 sitting very comfortably.
Trade in the middle as TSM fight for that control. Wardell and Drone waiting on the opposite side, and that is one scary combination. You do not want to mess with a flash, and a bloodthirsty Wardell on the opposite side is not someone that you want to cross paths with. Now Relics and company. Relics playing the information game, looking to try to pull TSM away from their comfort zone. Wardell on the opposite side will be right where he needs to be for Cloud9 to hit this B side. Remember, this pistol, very volatile, but Cloud9 and TSM are playing this like it's any other round.
No way. Alright, here's Wardell. Has spotted 3. He got tagged up a little bit, but the Smokes are going to try to create some space. Mitch takes him out with the frenzy yet again. Hayes gets 2 of his own, looking for the 3rd. Give it to him, baby! TSM wins the pistol.
Pistol they needed to win. Now they'll find themselves at 10-3, potentially 10-4 if Cloud9 doesn't force up and really cause the pain for TSM. But they're thinking about it. They thought about it. They're playing with our hearts. They're playing with our emotions. Roller Coaster Tycoon booted up on the other monitor as I'm feeling a whole slew of things. It's just 10s that locks in the Bulldog. We'll see if that ends up being the long-term play. TSM likely going to be put up at 10-4 here. If not, things are not going to pan out well for the rest of the half.
Cloud9 have done what they can to tip a situation that should not go their way a bit more in their favor with that Bulldog. As they work their way towards A, they're going to be met with a good bit of Killjoy utility and 2 members of TSM to boot. There's the Rain of Blind starting to funnel in. Cutler's going to be there. Oh my gosh, Cutler gets a glad. He's looking for a 30. He's going to get flashed up, forced to back up. But somehow stays alive! How does he do that? Cloud9 just down to 1 member left. The Bulldog did not bite. TSM takes care of Cloud9.
Yeah, now that 3rd round economy is going to be a little shot here for Cloud9. TSM hold on to that site, and chat is holding on to their hats here. TSM have managed to make this half really work for them as it's starting to unfold before our very eyes. I told you the defensive side for TSM is going to really start to light up. They've got a lot of good control on that TSM roster. The Omen, the Breach, the Killjoy, the Viper. They can deny vision. They can deny a whole slew of things for this eager Cloud9 roster to move on to the grand finals, but TSM want it just as bad. See how this round unfolds as Cloud9 are on their first gun round of the half.
Slow early start yet again. No presence mid. No attempt to try to establish control or get information. Playing this one out slow early on. Oh my gosh, what a big pick. Wardell with the op is taken out.
Relic's actually going to continue that fire.
No
He's still alive, though. He's going to try to escape. There isn't a lot of presence towards the middle. Oh, psych. Yeah, there is. Sabrosa going to be trying to cut off the rotation towards the B side, but little does he know they've already committed. Relics is going to be playing this late push in towards Heaven. If Cloud9 can push quick, hit fast, then Hayes is going to have to re-rotate over. Sabrosa will at least find one. That's the spike down. Hayes is going to be able to stop Relics from pushing forward. So far, it's still the advantage for Cloud9. The op in the hands up above. Cutler just trying to get an angle, but the spike is about to be planted. Going to use the nano
30 seconds
to try
left.
to deny it. Vice is still going to plant
planted.
it, still going to commit it, and survive. Now the retake here for TSM.
Sabrosa had a good flank there. He was behind all of them, was able to get one, but then the rest of the flank fell apart. Cloud9 was able to take care of him and get onto the site. They have the numbers advantage. Mitch looks like he's going to get a chance here onto 2 members of Team Solo mid. Cutler and Drone slowly working their way around that corner. Mitch not even able to get one. Cutler's able to take him out. It's going to knock things up at a 2v2. Drone flashing his way onto the site, but Tens is there and Vice follows up. 11-4, Cloud9.
Beautiful crossfire setup. They set up on both sides of the tower there. If one falls, the other swings, but neither do. TSM not feeling too bad in terms of the economy. It's likely going to be a little bit of a rougher buy across the board for some of the players. Wardell has, well, I was about to say he has the Bladestorm, but he doesn't, so he's just going to opt in for the Sheriff. Still going to be crispy with it nonetheless, but I'd imagine Hayes could buy for him. Yep, that's the Vandal that comes through. Hayes is going to have to suffer, but that's okay. Your star player has the weapons necessary. But you highlighted that this map hasn't really been the best for Wardell. Hasn't really started to shine like we normally see him do. This would be the half where he would, and he's got the Vandal in his hands. Paid for by Hayes. Let's see if that ends up coming into use.
Good guy, Hayes. Spotting Wardell a couple bucks to get some artillery. Cloud9 looking like they want to play over towards B. The problem is TSM has nobody there, Simo. So if Cloud9 decide to finish going that way, they're going to have to fight for the retake. There's going to be some fire coming in from heaven, but they can smoke that off. Or they can pull all of the resources from TSM over towards B and then quietly rotate their way back towards A. Wardell, however, was watching that choke point right in the middle, and now he's rotating off as well. Oh boy.
Fire shots at 10. Headshot's gonna send him. Goodnight, Wardell with 2 turns. Gonna be the 3rd one. Can he find the 4th? That's Mitch just trying to escape. Nano Swarm will be taken care of as well. Vice already on the site, but the man advantage is extreme
30 seconds
here for
left.
TSM as Wardell has managed to find himself a huge opportunity.
What?
Vice just lining up the shot. He's buying time for his team. Hayes just waiting. Vice has found himself in a very precarious situation, but Sabrosa waiting with the paranoia. Vice better be careful here. Shot's going to be good. The paranoia comes through, and now Sabrosa has to be careful. There's somebody
10
on the
seconds
site. Cloud9 have played this well now, but Sabrosa plays it better. Shot's going to connect. Less than 5 seconds left to plant. They're going to commit to it. They're going to try to push forward. Now seeing the push in from Cutler, and he takes Cloud9 down, bringing us 11-5.
The patience there was huge onto Hayes as he was just sitting there like a freaking dead man walking. The reticle was on his head the entire time, and the trigger discipline required there is just so impressive because he knows as soon as that bullet goes off, they know exactly where he is, and the ruse is up, right? He's been exposed. He's been found out. So was able to sit on it long enough, and it was actually the paranoia out of Sabrosa that forced him back just a little bit after that initial kill came through. So TSM able to rob that round away from Cloud9. They had a couple of early losses, unfortunately, at the hands of Wardell, but it still went down to the wire.
Considering Cloud9 have won the first half 10-2. I say won, but have cleaned up the first half 10-2. Honestly, this becomes now a battle of attrition. How fast can TSM catch up versus how fast can Cloud9 close out the map? So far, TSM have been doing a phenomenal job of catching up, and considering Cloud9 is on the pistol, likely another round in the pocket here for TSM. The next gun round that comes in for Cloud9, if they're able to bring it to match point and series point, it's going to be a little scary here for TSM. So they have to make sure that they lay on the hurt this time and they don't lose any weapons. That's probably key. It already starts off quite well. They might lose one here, but Sabrosa survives.
Somehow survives and somehow doesn't get a kill. I thought for sure Relics was going to get it. There's the 2. He is able to get 1.
30 seconds left.
Wardell swings. Wardell not able to land the shots. He's going to opt for the classic. Backs off as he reloads. He's going to go aggressive under Relics. He's able to take him out. Vice swinging with the Sheriff. Wardell gets the best of him. A 3K for him. TSM inch closer and closer. But now, a gun round for Cloud9. Now, Cloud9 have to close the door on TSM.
There are a couple of gun rounds left, but of course Cloud9, once they bring it to that 12th round, they can force overtime, and for TSM, they don't even want to get there. They would perfect scenario for TSM is they just win 5 in a row. We're tied up 11-11. Cloud9 get a little desperate, trying to close out the map, and TSM sit nice and pretty and wait for Cloud9 to fall into that trap. But Cloud9, they've had a lot of rounds to bleed, but now it is time to get to business to shut the door, like you said, on TSM. 3 ultimates available, the Empress from the Shadows and the Rolling Thunder. On the opposite side, TSM have their trademarked Blade Storm alongside a Lockdown and from the Shadows as well. So utility there to gather information. The Lockdown can help deny the push in a late round scenario. Like if Cloud9 hit B, but then decide that they want to funnel back to A, and Cutler really wants to commit to winning the round, he can drop that Lockdown and say, no, you're not coming to A. Like stay away. You go back to B. I don't want you here. I don't want you on this A side. So we'll see, of course, how that plays out. But these ultimates might be used to commit wins on this round, because this is an important one coming up.
It is indeed. Tens did not have full armor. That's the only weakness, if you will, as far as what was purchased on the side of Cloud9. The utility from Viper's going to buy some time. And the rest of the utility from Killjoy is, I mean, almost effectively locking down B.
There's a little Killjoy utility as well to make this a very difficult site to push into, right? You've got the combination of the Viper and the Killjoy. Cloud9 push in, they're going to get dangerously low trying to fight Haze there on the site. And of course, Cutler from range can activate those nano swarms regardless of the distance, so that can be a huge problem. But Cloud9 back away, looking now to Relics, who's honestly gathered a lot of space for Cloud9. Not really a whole lot, but little does he know, the A site is relatively open. Sabrosa will have to pay attention to him if there's any late round theatrics, because he's usually the one to catch Cloud9 off guard in his positioning as he tries to wrap around.
30 seconds left.
All right, the lockdown is going to be used from Mitch on the B site. Lead them to think that that's where the play is going to be, but Simo, you talked about Sabrosa. Keep an eye on Sabrosa. He's going to be working his way through sewers. As the rest of Cloud9 work their way onto that A site, that flank could prove to be disastrous. As Shinobi goes aggressive, he's able to take care of Wardell, and Hayes Cutler drops as well. Now Sabrosa joins the party, but it might be too little, too late as Cloud9 continue to push the situation.
Yeah, they've got a lockdown here as well. So Sabrosa and Drone really bringing on the hurt. No players have been detained there from the lockdown from Cutler. Now it's down to the 1v2. Shot's going to be good now. It's just down to the 1v1. But Drone is injured. If Mitch can just perfectly play this out, buy some time. The plant is perfect. The Nano Swarm, he can't really opt in to fight it. I think there may be another Nano Swarm in the tank. We're about to find out. That's it. That's the jump peek. There's the defuse. Mitch now trying to play it. Shot's going to be good. There's not really a whole lot Drone can do in that scenario. There's not a lot. He has to defuse. It favors Mitch in that 1v1 because he has the cover. He can just keep bobbing in and out. And the pressure's on TSM to defuse. So now Cloud9, 12-6. TSM need to win 6 in a row. And that is a tall task ahead. If they can do it, I'm just going to go ahead and say that they're the greatest team in North America. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm just going to
And Simo, that's the thing. They've got to win 6 rounds just to get to overtime, right? Like, they aren't out of the woodworks to 6 rounds, although Herculean already don't guarantee him the win. So Cloud9 sitting comfortable here. If you're Cloud9, you don't got to do anything crazy. You don't got to, like, go absolutely bonkers and panic. Just take it one gun round at a time. You know that you have the advantage. You have TSM on their back foot. Just put them away. Obviously, much easier said than done.
Yes.
Poison's off.
Looking at this round, though, some of that Killjoy utility has been swapped over towards the A site. And Hayes still all alone because consistently Wardell and Sabrosa have been gathering a lot of space for TSM. Gathering information, no one's in the courtyard. If they want to split off, they can. Maybe a Ramen play, maybe a Sewers play. But they back away. They go back towards Heaven. They give Hayes a little bit more comfort knowing that he's got relative support from the roster of TSM. As Sabrosa now starts to rotate over towards the A site, and they see a smoke towards the A site. Sabrosa's just waiting. He's buying time. He's waiting for the... He actually teleports, I think, towards the garage, and he gathers the information that is necessary to say, okay, Cloud9 were there. I got a lot of information.
30 seconds left.
Remember, the Rolling Thunder is available for Cloud9 as he looks to push things up towards Heaven. There was a Paranoia as well to try to help add some cross cover, but the Viper Spit is going to come down in response. Wardell's able to get 2 as Vice and Relics are taken out. Hayes playing in his ultimate, but Tens and Mitch join the party. Hayes gets another one as he tries to keep TSM alive, but Cloud9 with 6 seconds left. It doesn't look like they're going to get the spike down. TSM look like they're going to rob this round from Cloud9.
Very well done there from TSM. The Viper Spit definitely helped out, but I think one of the most important things to note is the presence of mind, the killer instinct from Wardell. You know what he did there? Down underneath the ropes. You know what he did? He put up a one-way, so when they drop down, he sees their toesies, and he can just spray for good luck and finds a beautiful double piece onto Cloud9. If Wardell dies there, That's it. Series done. Cloud9 move on to the grand finals. There's no way you're coming back from that. But very well done from Wardell. He gives his team some space as they start to funnel in to help defend the push from the garage side as well.
There.
And Cloud9 are stuck salvaging the weapons for the round, and only Shinobi gets one moving into the next.
Now remember, Cloud9 still has the Rolling Thunder, one of the best ultimates in the game when it comes to giving yourself access onto a site. So with a heavy set piece, they're going to be able to get on there and likely going to be able to get the spike down as well. But they have not availed themselves of that resource quite yet. Cloud9 looking to establish mid control. Not something we've seen a ton of. And TSM just backs right off.
Cover going out.
TSM back away. Economy not the greatest here for Cloud9, so anticipating a 12-8 scoreline after this one. But we've seen some thrifty heroics, not only today, over the course of the entire Open Qualifier here at the First Strike Nursery Gamers Open Qualifier. Cloud9 playing how split is intended, pushing up the middle and then splitting off either way. They look towards the heaven side, but back away after they see Hayes now trying to escape. 30 seconds left on the clock, Doug. This is going to be a fast hit towards the B side, but I don't think they'll get very far.
No, the smoke was there. Hayes is backed off. There's the Rolling Thunder that we talked about, but it was actually from the side of TSM to delay the push from Cloud9. They've managed to get onto the site. Hayes on the other side of the smoke, but he gets punished. TSM's just down to 2 members left. Cloud9 managed to get the spike down. Subrosa, however, stops one, and they stop the other as well. TSM managed to pull that thing off. It was not a guaranteed thing, even knowing Cloud9's gun situation, but TSM managed to pull it off and extend the map.
Still very expensive for TSM. They will have credits to play with, but not the most ideal scenario. They are really fighting an uphill battle here, and every gun that they lose, considering the 3,000 credits that have been popping into their pocket for the past 5 rounds, they really need a little bit more security in the rounds that they win, because you're seeing here Hayes is down to 0, Cutler's down to 1,600, Sabros is down to 1,100. Yeah, they're making bank, but Cloud9's right at their heels, trying to chip away, trying to make it expensive. And that's all that they can do, considering this attack very difficult for Cloud9, as we've seen for this half.
The ultimates still in the back pocket of Cloud9. They now have 3 that they've amassed as they look to put TSM away. Oh, they're going to get onto the site, but Vice was able to get the first. Wardell taken out. Cloud9, they should be able to get onto A.
But there's the clutch factor. He's waiting in the corner. He's flashed, and he's holding on. They flash once. Will they flash again? Emphasis will pop. Ten's pushing forward. They need to get rid of the clutcher as he's waiting in the corner. Blinds 2. That's big. Drone will help out from the side. And now it's the 2v2 as Mitch will dispatch one. Down to Hayes, down to Drone, just down to Hayes. And he's late to the party, but better late than never. It's down to him in a 1v2 spike about to be planted for Cloud9. This could be series point, map point. Spike down, and now it's all down to Hayes in a 1v2 scenario. Can he bring this around?
Oh, there's the lockdown as well to buy some time and to force Hayes the round. You've got at least 6 more seconds that you're going to work with, because you know he can't push into that. But he's got to go here.
Player remaining.
Oh, 1v1. Doable. That's what they get relics. Showstopper as well. Waiting for somebody to peek out. A bazooka in his hand. Guess who's there on the opposite side? But it whiffs. Now it's down to the 1v1. He's just trying to run. He's just trying to hide. But you can't run from Hayes. TSM. Stay alive.
I can't freaking believe what I just saw. He did it with 4 health. 4 health. TSM refusing to go away.
Oh boy. Oh boy, Hayes. Your stats have not been looking good this tournament. Across his entire team, the lowest in KD, the lowest in kills per round, the lowest in first kills per round, the lowest in clutch scenarios. And yet here we are. The clutch that matters the most. Hayes brings his team to the fold, and now Cloud9 are looking at a very scary scenario. TSM likely going to enter double digits here as we could approach overtime.
Simo, I don't know that my heart can handle another overtime. This thing's just been out of control. But TSM, again, bend but don't break. Fighting in the face of adversity, refusing to go down. They were... Think about the first half. Think about how dominant Cloud9 looked. For us to be here, it's like what we saw in Bind, but worse.
Oh, that's a little unfortunate,
no.
but unfortunate for TenZ. Wardell with the quick reaction times proves that the Jet is mightier than the Reyna. Now they're still looking to push in. Wardell with a perfect position here, trying to back away, puts himself in a little bit more of a better crosshair placement, but Mitch will dispatch of him with the Stinger, sorry. Couple of upgrades now, 4v4, pushing onto the site.
30
Last year
seconds
for
left.
TSM would be deadly. Hayes gets sprayed with the flash in the eyes of Mitch.
Sabrosa.
Now as Mitch comes down, guess who's there? Guess who's waiting? It's Sabrosa, but he still falls. The spike is down. A 2v2, Cloud9 up against TSM. Now the spike has been planted. 14 seconds left on the clock. After shot
enemy
stops
remaining.
the plant,
10
and it
seconds left.
takes Relics to boot. Now all they need to do is swing, but Shinobi clears the wrong angle. TSM once again stay alive.
All right, now the thing about that was Cloud9 had, they had stingers, they had a weird, mixed bag. This is, and it doesn't look good for TenZ, but this is the last gun round. This is Cloud9's last chance. They've been sitting on that Rolling Thunder for what seems like 26 years. Surely, this is where they use it. TenZ is going to have a sheriff. Relics is going to go all the way with full armor. Ladies and gentlemen, if Cloud9 doesn't do it here, we're likely going to overtime.
Oh, Hayes, you saw someone. Someone's there. Someone's there. It's TenZ. Hayes going to take him out. Going to find Mitch to boot. Hayes is unlocked as he finds 2 picks, retreats back to the safety of his team in Cloud9. Likely staring down a very tough position. They've obviously, like you highlighted, a lot of weapons online here. They don't want to let this one slip away, but it's not looking good for them right now as TSM, like you said, could push us to overtime. All they need to do is close this one out and the one that follows, but Cloud9 don't have the economy for the round that follows. TSM need to nip it in the bud here today.
Go get him.
The spike just now starting to work its way up mid. There's utility for days out of TSM on the A site. Certainly not
Welcome to my world.
a welcome situation. And then there's the Viper's Pit on the other side. Cloud9 not with a ton of options. Not much to work with
30
here.
seconds left.
Relics trying to work his way onto the site. With just 3 members left, Drone is able to take him out.
One enemy
Hayes is
remaining.
still going to be on the opposite side. TSM mows down Cloud9. And here we go to that broken round for Cloud9 as we inch closer and closer to the most impossible of circumstances. After being down 10-2 at half, we're looking at overtime.
Listen, it's a defender-sided map. Both teams are looking at a 10-2 half. And Cloud9, yeah, some of the assault rifles are in the hands of the players that you want it most. I'd imagine maybe you want to swap Shinobi off the Phantom, give him the Stinger, have Relics frag out. He's almost on the 20 bomb. But they may be looking for an upgrade. They may be looking for the showstopper. I haven't had a look at whether or not Relics is close enough to it. Cloud9, they've brought these rounds close. TSM, all they need to do is play how they've been playing because it's been working.
A little bit of utility out of Cloud9 to ensure that there's no flank coming in from Hayes on B like we have seen in the past. That means, ladies and gentlemen, the determining site on whether or not we go to overtime will likely be A. Here's the Rolling Thunder that we've talked about time and time again. There's going to be utility from Killjoy for days. But here we go.
I need to point something out real quick before we hit the site A hit.
Do it quickly, man.
Cloud9 went for both ult orbs for Mitch. They have the lockdown. They're ready to use it. Guess what? There's no Hunter's Fury to stop it. They're looking to try to maybe bait them out. Maybe look for a little bit of a different look towards the A side, but this lockdown, at least temporarily, is
30
working.
seconds left.
They don't have a sight line into heaven. They don't know if they're on the site. They have to guess. And guess what happens when you guess? You don't know. You have no idea. Cloud9 have rotated towards the B site. They have found Sabrosa. They've broken on. The spike will be planted. TSM now in a late round retake.
And here's
Spike planted.
freaking use the Rolling Thunder, man! I've been setting you up for the last 5 rounds. They've managed to get onto the site. They've managed to get the spike down.
You should run.
It's going to be there on the flank, but they're going to be met with an opposing lockdown. That's going to force them off of the site. TSM waiting patiently. Relics is able to get one with the Stinger. There's the Rolling Thunder. It's going to be traded back as both teams avail themselves of that. TSM just down to 3 members left as they fight to get to overtime, but the guns from Cloud9 may be too much. As TSM just down to 2 members left, Relics gets onto the site, and ladies and gentlemen, Cloud9 do it again! The 3rd best of 3 in a row against TSM, and they best Team Solo Mid.
How did it get to that point? How? How did it get to that point? Cloud9, 10-2 half. Then they try to crawl their way through inch to match point, inch to series point. And an incredible round from them. The economy wasn't perfect. Nothing about that round was perfect. They get both ult orbs, both of them. And they use the lockdown to mind game TSM. This is what Valorant is all about. These late round, late game, stamina inducing scenarios is what Valorant is all about. Really have to tip my hat to TSM. The way that they had played was commendable. And I'm still excited to see them at the close qualifier. Of course, it's not like they didn't qualify. I know that people are saying, you know, air quotes, for seeding, but you can't tell me that that series was not hard fought on both sides.
Freaking A, Cloud9. Cloud9. I could just talk about them for days. And honestly, we could look at that last round probably 26 times and see something new, see something different, something impressive from both of these squads. But Cloud9, bend, but don't break. As we were talking about TSM before, we're going to take a quick look at the replays from that absolute banger of a map.
Yeah, the replays, of course, brought to you by GoPuff, the official delivery partner of Nerd Street Gamers. Use the promo code NerdStreet and you sign up on GoPuff and you'll get $4 off of your first 4 orders. GoPuff, ordered in seconds, delivered in minutes, and boy, did this series deliver, especially this play from Drone. What was it, down to a 1v4? The man really showed up, and then from a sliver, like he was playing Siege or something, like looks to a tiny little hole, finds a pick, finds a frag, Tens of course here as well. It was nothing but highlight reel after highlight reel. To be honest, from both sides, from every player. This is a series. These are 2 teams that I want to see do things out time and time again for tournaments and tournaments to come.
What a gift, man. These 2 squads so good. Again, cementing themselves as the best as 2 of the best teams that North America has to offer. This thing went the distance. It like defied conventional wisdom. Cloud9 up 10-2, up huge on 2 different maps. And then for it to go down to overtime, and then on the precipice of overtime as well. TSM showed that they refused to go away, but at the end, Cloud9 was just too much. Gosh, I want to look at this again.
Yes, yes. Let's just, unfortunately, okay, here we go. Okay, Drone and company, they push in. I think maybe the problem here, they may have been a little bit too stacked together, just trying to split out onto a site that was already in control from Cloud9. I think the problem there was they used the lockdown to retake the site, but Cloud9 were like, yeah, fine, sure, okay. Like, we have, who was it, Shinobi flanking in from the defender spawn. Wardell was trying to deal with him, and then, you know, Relics was in a position that they didn't account for due to the, you know, the area that was covered by the lockdown. And then, you know, the rest is, of course, history. A phenomenal series between both teams. Both deserve kudos. Both deserve regards. Some of the best teams in North America. Let's have one last final look at the bracket to see where our teams have come from, where they're going, and how Team Envy and Cloud9 will face off tomorrow for the grand final seeding.
Just unreal. Unreal. Finally, they go the distance. It's a banger. Everyone had a heart attack. But Cloud9 make it through over TSM. Again, the third best of three. Were they best? TSM. Cloud9 demanding that they are part of the conversation for the top two in North America, and their prize after taking care of TSM is to go up against Envy. Envy, the same squad, the 2-0 Gen G, who looked so good throughout this entire tournament. My gut tells me Cloud9 versus TSM was an absolute banger. Tomorrow is going to be absolutely nuts.
Yeah, Envy versus Cloud9. That's going to, of course, do it up here for us on the broadcast. A phenomenal day, a phenomenal semifinals. Kudos to all the teams, all the players involved. It would not be possible without you. It would not be possible, of course, without Nursery Gamers putting on this first strike qualifier, and GoPuff for sponsoring the instant replay. Lots of replays to watch back, and a lot of VOD reviews are about to come out in the coming weeks for this series alone. A lot to unpack and a lot to digest. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure for Esports Doug and I to cast the semifinals for you today. Tomorrow, Bach and Vansili will join you for the grand finals to tie up a phenomenal open qualifiers and decide for, air quotes, seeding who ends up moving on as the first seed for the closed qualifier. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night, and we'll see you guys next time.